Well, welcome back everyone to our animation series. We're going to be looking at walk cycles here. I'm going to show you an example on my screen of one of the pieces that I've made, which is called Margaret and Betty, available on YouTube, so do have a look at it. Okay, and we're going to then go into the actual project where I will show you how to create your own Walk Cycle Sprite.
Hello, my name is Betty, and I'm here to show you how to use walk cycles with a scrolling background.
Okay, so I have got open a new HD document. We're going to use this. This is going to be our walk cycle. We're going to start to think about how we're going to use our walk cycle. Got nothing here at the moment, so we need to import a template. Now, if you go on to Google, you can find, if you put in walk cycle into a search, you should find something like this. I'm going to pop in import to stage, one that I have already found. There are plenty online, you should be able to find them. I can show you that a little later. So if we grab walk cycle PNG and open that up, you can see now we've got this walk cycle. Now if we just zoom into it so I can show you it, there you have the walk cycle. We've got 4 positions really, so out of this we've got 9 images. We're only going to need 8 because this last one here is the same as the first. The contact points are the actual points where your feet are contacting the ground. Then you've got a recoil, a passing and a high point going back to a contact. So you can see the loop here, how it works. You can also see, which is quite interesting, how the head bobs up and down. The head doesn't stay at the same level all the way through. Alright, so the head bobs up and down. So you're only going to be needing to draw 8 of these, so you're going to do 8 drawings. We're going to do it frame by frame, and we're going to use this, and we're going to try and make our character walk on the spot. That means we can then convert them into a sprite like we did with our bee, and we can then make our character walk across the scene. Okay, so we're going to use this, so I want you to get one like this at least. If you can get this one, I will put it on the Moodle for you to use. So at the moment it's quite small. I want to increase the size of my my artwork so that it fits the screen. So I need to go to modify and transform, free transform, and then I can stretch it out and get it the right sort of size that I want. Keep that nice and central at this stage. Now that's going to be just our template, so we'll call that template, and then we're going to add a further layer, and I'm going to call this one ground. And I'm going to imagine where the ground is beneath the feet of my little character. Right, so I'm going to use my line tool. I've made it red. I'm going to use the line tool. I want to make sure that it's a thick line, about 8, and I'm just going to draw that line nicely across there. Now you can see, now you might want to go back to your template and adjust, move your character up or down. You can do that with the arrow buttons, or you can actually click on it up here and move it as you want. Alright, I'm just going to move it with my arrow buttons so that all those contact feet there are actually on the ground. So that'll be our ground. All right, so we've put that in there. And we need one more. And we'll just drop that up there. And we'll call this center. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing, but I'm going to change the color to a kind of blue. And I'm roughly going to take the center, and I'm going to put that down like so. So now I've got this sort of target. This is where I'm going to want my characters. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a further layer, and this is going to be Walk Cycle. Okay, you can't put spaces in Animate in the naming, so you will have to do underscore to do that. Call that Walk Cycle. You can see now that's come up, and this is where we're going to do our drawings. Before we do this, we need to think, right, we're going to have 8 images. Okay, so we've got 8 images, so we can start here with the first image, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for 8. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm going to select them like so, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to convert to blank keyframes. So now you can see we've got 8 blank keyframes ready for our walk cycle. I'm now going to go here and select and control click as I go down there, and I'm going to right click and insert keyframes. Now we've got 8 frames up here. We've got the center ground, we've got the ground, and we've got the template. So I'm going to start with the template, and we're going to move to the first image in the sequence. So we will need to go to our arrow tool and move the template only, okay, so that we've got our character central with the blue line and lined up with the red. Then we can go into the first layer, okay, and I'm going to zoom in a bit so I can do my drawing. See there. And I'm going to start by thinking about drawing or painting in a slightly different colour than the black, so that I can see it. Let's see, should we do a sort of brown? And you can see here, I can draw a little nose on him. Make him your own, or her your own style of character. Just use this as a position for the arms and legs. Right, so I've drawn the first one. I can turn off the background. You can have a little look at it, go in, maybe tidy it up a little. I'm going to zoom in and tidy that up even more. I can get lines going in there. I could put a little face in there and maybe crazy eye. And I can put like kind of join up some of the edges there, make sure that there's no gaps. I might even take that a little bit more like that, and then erase what I don't want. I'm going to do this very quickly, so I would expect you guys to make a better job of this if you can. Let's put an ear on him. Go, sort of character, I think he'll do. I don't want to colour him at this stage, I just want to kind of get the rough outline. So I'm going to zoom out so you can see it all again. And I'm going to turn on the template. Now I'm going to move to my second frame. You can see what I want to do now is go down to the template and move my character to the centre like so. And then I can start going back in to draw the next frame. Oops. And now I can get my paintbrush. Now if I turn off the template, I can check my drawing, make sure there's no little bits missing. Because if I'm flood filling later, I don't want it to flood out everywhere. Okay, and we'll put his mouth in there like that. And another eye. There. And his hair. Here. Oops. Okay. So you can flip between the two and you can see how he's walking. Okay. So we go to the next one, we open it up, we move down to the template layer on that one. Using the arrow tool, we then move our character to there. And we'll now go back to that one and carry on with our drawing. And I'm going to turn that off and tidy it up. So where the bits are. And we can now see our guy starting to walk. So move to the next one, go to our template, click on that, move the character along, and then we use that to draw over. So we're going to turn off our template, checking, see little bits of deckness in there, little bits there, elbow. Sure, all these bits are joined up. Have a look at that. Good. Race a little bit there. A bit there. See my walk cycle coming together quite well. So we're now back to contact phase. 4 more drawings to go. And turn off that one, turn that on. And the final one. You might find that the final one is that one. When you get to this stage, you can see there that you get a new file, so you need to move that particular one along before you trace it. We're going to get rid of the template anyway. This isn't quite Margaret and Betty, but that'll do. Right, so we've finished that now. We can delete or turn off that template at least. And we can then put on our loop. See, we changed the loop length there. And now, have a look. He's running along super speed. So you want to slow him down, so we need to modify document there into that, and at the moment he's 30 frames. I'm going to make him 6 frames. Okay, and we'll play that. And now at 6 frames a second, you can see your man walks on the spot. So once you've done that, you can pause that. You can delete all these files here, so we can get rid of the template, and we can just hit the delete button. The ground we don't need necessarily, and the center we can get rid of. So now we've just got this little loop here of a walking man. Good, eh? Right, not quite brilliant, but it'll do. But I can go into that, and as long as I've cleaned up all my lines, I should be able to sort of flood fill with some nice colour. So I'm going to look for some colour for my man. So I'm going to, oops. I want to make him black like that. So I'm going to go into each one. And I select it and the colour. I can go through and change it to black. And I just by clicking on there, and it'll change the colour to black for all of them. So I've got black outlines that I can then fill in, even though I've drawn them in brown. And it might be a good idea to go through and check it all. And you can see there. So if you end up with the spots like this, make sure that you click off the artwork so you get the thick back line, then you can go back in and tidy up any little holes that you might have here that might cause you issues later on when you're filling. Okay, a little bit here. Okay, so now we're going to go through, I've got a big belt on that one. We're going to go through and give it different colours. So I'm going to look at a skin tone, like that, and I'm going to flood fill all the skin tones. So just throwing that in there, there, and there. Oops, see the gap there. And we can select the colour if we need it. And we can just go in and do that. Now I'm going to do all the skin colour on all of them as I go through so that I can get that right. Okay. Swap that to a black there, and then we're going to go in and just tidy up little bits on here that I don't think are that good. You can see little gaps there, gaps there, gaps there. Looks alright to me, I think. I might just take my eraser in a bit on that one. That. Okay, and we're going to go back that way. We can then go to the flood fill, face and hand. This one, you can see there's lots of gaps that I missed. I'm just switching between the two. Make sure I click off and then go into the paintbrush. You can see that I can join that up there like that. Make sure that's joined up there. That will save me a lot of effort later on. Put on the head there. Check all round. Looks okay to me. Just going to tailor the toe and a little bit of rubber work just there. There we go. Switch colours. Okay, and we're going to the next one. Not too bad. No, that does. Check it. And we're going to just pop the colour in with our here. Nearly there. You see, it's quite laborious. That one doesn't do. There we go. So we've got some colour on him, and we can start to go and put in some further colours. Let's see what we'll have. Let's have a dark red jumper like that. We're going to do that. You can see there's lots of little bits here. Oops, I filled it in with red, with black, go red. A little bit of paintbrush in there. And oh, forgot a belt in that one. Go. So you can see now he's getting some colour into him. We need a hair colour now. Give him a ginger colour. Go through. And if you don't click on these, you can then select them and you can just quickly shift through like that. As long as your lines are in the right place. Okay, and we'll get some trouser colour. See, it's much easier that way. You don't have to turn it on and off. So, okay, must be something wrong with that one. It's a random flood. Let's go in that paintbrush and it can be as small as a pixel, but it can stop you from doing that. There is another way. We'll look at that later. Just need some nice dark brown shoes, I think. And now we play our little man. He looks good, doesn't he? Our little fellow walking along. So that's going to be our sprite. Okay, we've created that now. And we can create a sprite out of that. So I'm going to select all those and I'm going to modify and I'm going to convert to symbol. I'm going to keep it as a graphic symbol and I'm going to call it walk or walking man. Okay, and okay, that's the symbol. So what I'm going to do now is select all those frames there, not the first one. All right, and I'm going to right click and copy frames. And if I go on to the first frame, double click and go to the second frame and paste frames. There's our loop. If we go back out into the scene, we can get rid of all those frames by selecting them, right clicking and remove frames. And now we just have one little man here. Okay. So if we look at him there, we can put him, like we did with the bee, one side of the screen. And we can go to 120 frames. I think that's a good length, but you can change it if you wish. And insert a keyframe. Yeah, see, I'll put him over there. At the moment, it just kind of goes like that. So we're going to go back to the beginning. I'm just going to check him. See there, those have all gone up there. I might need to move him. And template there, that would cross. You can do it another way. You can start a new scene from scratch and add that to it, like we did with the bee sprite. But you can do it this way as well. So you can see now we've got that there. We can then go in, insert, classic tween, and at the moment our loop is only that long, so we need to make our loop 20 seconds long. And now you can see our little man walks across the screen. Now, I think he should be down. I'm going to move him down to there, and I'm going to move this one down to the centre as well. You can see now our little man walks. He could walk faster. We could make him walk much faster by speeding up the frame rate. So we can do that if we want to. Go to document, and let's put him on 12 frames a second. Okay. And then he walks a lot faster across the screen. If you want him to do it much faster, then you will need to move your keyframes to there. And you can see that's what's happening to my character. I can then add a background, so we could add a new layer. So I'm going to import that to the stage, and we're going to find that. Here's my background here. Open that, and you can see I'm just going to pull that down below. That's the same one I used with Betty. I'm going to change the size of it though, so that it fits onto our stage. We go into there, and we can transform. So we need to modify, transform, free transform. So you can see now I can pop it in there. Now what this actually is quite a long drawing or image that I'm going to use as my background, and that image is going to be used for that I used for the Betty. So I'm going to use that, and we're going to start with it at this point. All right, so he's going to be walking along, so we want it to move in that direction. Okay, so we're going to start it there, and we're just going to make sure we position our gentleman in the right position so that when he walks across the screen and then to there. Okay, and we're going to then put in a keyframe there, right click, insert keyframe, and we're going to move this to there. And we go back to the beginning, insert a classic tween. It'll ask you to tween it because that's a drawing, so I'm going to ask you to do that. Okay, and then you should be able to see a little man walking off screen. So there's your parallax scrolling walk cycle. What's good about this is you can also, if you wanted to, you could have, let's have another man in there. We could put a new layer in now, so we'll pop in a new layer, and we'll call this man 2. Now we could do other versions, but I'm going to find my man, okay, and he should be in my assets from my library of assets. There's the walking man, and I'm going to drag him just onto there like so, and you can see I'm going to make him slightly smaller, and I'm going to switch him around like so. Okay, and then I go to the end sequence, and there he is again. And I'm going to insert a key frame. And I'm going to insert key frame. And I'm going to put him over there. So what I do now is go back to that, insert a classic tween, and now if we have two gentlemen walking past each other in the street. You'll only see what's in this rectangle here, but it'll look quite good. So let's export that. So we'll export video media. That will come up. Okay. Export. And you should see it come up here. I've got some of my other stuff that I've saved here. There it is saving. You can see there I forgot to colour in the eyes. So you'll see that I need to do that. So I'd have to go back and put some white in the eyes. Apart from that, that's it. Nice one, guys. Talk soon.